Hi everybody, it's Amy at Crafty Cat, and we are here today to start the Entirely Bonkers journal. Sorry, I didn't start it yesterday. I had forgotten about the 50 stack challenge. I don't know how I forgot, but I did. And so then once I remembered, I had already told you guys we would start Monday. So I apologize for that, but here we are on Tuesday getting started. So what I have done is get my papers together, and I think I'm going to use a cereal box as my cover. I cut it down yesterday. I don't have it here, but anyway, I have papers from the kit. This is my Spill and Tea digital, some handmade paper, some papers I dyed using Tim Holtz Distress Oxide sprays, and one of his, sorry, I should have got that out. I just totally spaced it. One of his, it was this. Wilted Violet. It looks pink once you do this, but what I did is put it on some plastic and then sprayed water on it and dripped, sprayed and dripped on here. And because I think it got so watered down, it turned more of a pink color, which I like. I feel like it goes well with the kit. And then I also used, let me find it, the tumbled glass. I think. No, it's not tumbled glass. It must have been the Salty Ocean, because the other one is the Peacock, and that's or the Jean one. So it's this Salty Ocean and Wilted Violet. Those are the two colors that I used to get my paper this color. And I don't do anything fancy. I just spritz it and spray water on it to, get it moving around a little bit. And so I've done a few pages of that. These are all kit pages. This is the Spill and Tea. These ones are from Lorna Taylor at Taylor Made Journals. I'll try to remember. I think I forgot last time to link that, so I'll definitely try to do that this time. Oh, another question I keep getting, or I've had a few of, I have a lot of new people, and welcome. I'm so pleased to have you guys. So definitely ask any questions you want, because sometimes I forget and I just get going along and not, or, thinking everybody knows what everything is. So this in the digital kit is a CD envelope cover. You can either cover an actual CD envelope. That's what it was made for, but it works just fine to use it on its own. Fold it up. You just fold, kind of where the joins are. I don't know what else to call them. Where those intersections are, that would probably be a better word. Just run a fold along there. If you have, oh my gosh, why can't I think of what those boards are called? Scoreboard. You can use that. That's what I use, because that way it's obviously nice and straight. So that's a CD envelope cover, but you can also use it just like this. You can cover in the back here. Sorry, I keep saying I don't know what my problem is today. You can cover back here, put a piece of acetate down so that you can see through it and see what's ever in the pocket. Or you can do, Carol Laws seals hers completely shut, and then she uses them like a little tuck, so you could put, I'm just going to use this as an example, tags or whatever, kind of, so if you glued it onto the page like this, then you just could stick things in there that you want to stick in there. So you can do anything you want with it. Also, this one in the kit is a number 10 window envelope cover. That's what it was made for. Don't have to use a number 10 window envelope, because I know a lot of places don't have those sizes. Those are US things, and we have them, but other places don't. So you can take a piece of acetate, same thing, put it back behind, obviously cut to size, and then you can fold them. Like, you could fold this one like this, do a thumb notch, cut it to size, maybe cut it a little bit shorter, and just turn it into a pocket so you can see whatever you're slipping in and out of that pocket. Or it's great, like what it was made for, to cover a number 10 window envelope. So that looks like, well, I've got my thing backwards, but anyhow, you would put, say, this one cut out over over that, so it would cover like that, but you could see the window still. And then it was made so that if you cut your envelope open, and this one isn't, but if you cut it open, that you could, if you have this here, you can fold it and it'll cover the other side of the window as well, so that it's all one piece and it covers one of these envelopes, so you don't have to sit there and try to piece stuff around. But you can also take it and just take a portion of it, you know, to cover around your envelope and then do something else. Or if you have an envelope like this, don't do anything and just leave the coffee dye to show. So there's loads of things you can do. You can make your own pockets. I've made pockets that go like this direction with different, I have different ones of these. I have a whole set of just number 10 window envelope covers in my Etsy shop, which are 30% off right now. And then you can cut that bottom window off. Obviously, this one isn't oriented in a great way for that, but there are some that are just lace and stuff like that. So then you can orient them this way, cut off the bottom. You can have like a tuck here or have it as a window and do a pocket up there. I mean, there's a million things you can do with those window envelope covers. So don't feel like I don't have CD cases and I don't have number 10 windows, so I can't do anything with these. You can just make your own envelopes or pockets or whatever you like. Okay, so anyhow, that one is going to go on there at some point some point in the journey. And then I liked it with these mushrooms across from it. I thought that was fun, and the kitty cat eyes just peeking at you. And I have some music paper, you know, just all the normal things. I realized I literally have no Alice in Wonderland books or anything. So I've had to just add, you know, different things. So if you don't have an Alice in Wonderland book, I wish I did, but I don't. Because it would be fun to add some of the old vintagey pictures and things from that. So instead, I've just added other papers and like handmade papers and whatever to this. We'll do something with that little pocket and that. But first, today, we are going to take, I thought on these pages, where are they? I had a couple pages that were like lace, which is awesome. I don't have a problem with lace. I just thought it might be fun to add a little color. Yeah, here. So we're going to take this Kleenex box top, and I've cut it a little shorter because obviously they're a little bit longer, but we're going to turn it into a pocket that'll go on this page, and it'll be covered with this fabric that's going to go on the cover of the journal as well, to bring in, you know, the cover colors, and then just give me a little color on this page as well. So this is my Spillin' Tea. This is Tailor Made Journals. She's got a few of these lace kits, and I can't remember. I think this is the second one, but I'm not positive. You'd have to go pop over to her shop and take a peek. But I will leave a link straight to the kits that I have. I have two of them. I think I have 2 and 3, so I'm not sure which one that's from. But anyhow, that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to cover this first with the piece of fabric, and I'm just going to use my glue stick. I'm going to stitch around this. If you're not going to stitch around it, you may want to use something stronger like a tacky glue or a fabric glue, so that it will stick better for you and permanently. I mean, I've never had any trouble with my glue sticks. I use the Scotch Create permanent glue sticks, and I don't have any trouble with stuff falling off, but I know it happens just because after glue stick dries for a while, it can just like lose its stick a little bit. So I always like to reinforce a little bit, especially with like a fabric or a not necessarily paper. The paper sticks to paper pretty well with the glue stick. I've not had any issues whatsoever with that. But anything heavier, like one of those Tim Holtz paper dolls that's kind of a thicker card, then yeah, I like to use either, man, my brain today, either like a liquid glue or something like that, okay? All right, brain. So I'm probably going to have to trim this because I did not get it in the middle. If I'd have got it in the middle, it would have been a little bit better. But actually, you know, I think I'm going to leave this to glue the pocket down so it'll have a little bit of a gusset. So instead of a paper flap, it's going to have a fabric flap since we're using fabric. Then what we're going to do is cut the center open, obviously, so that you can see what's in there. So how y'all doing? Sorry, I just got like straight down to it and blabbing away like I do sometimes. So sorry about that. But we're gonna just, I don't have to tear it. It doesn't have to have the frayed edges, Amy. So we'll just try to cut it with these scissors as best we can. These scissors I got on Amazon. I do get that question a lot too. They're great if you have, I have arthritis in my thumbs. And so when it's flared up, regular scissors touch that and that's a no. So these are great for that. I like them a lot. I don't have any problems when I cut with these. So, but it's been pretty good, knock on wood. Surprisingly, because we've had a kind of a crazy winter. Usually when the weather's all over the place is when I have trouble. I'll even have trouble in the summer when it thunderstorms. So I feel you if you got that problem, because it's not fun. It's a lot of times how much fussy cutting and stuff I'm doing too, because that gets it going, or how much drawing I'm doing, that also gets it going. So a multitude of things. So these two flaps no, I'm not. I'm not gluing that bottom one. I'm gluing this top one. I don't know what I'm doing, you guys. Honestly, it's a disaster. It's Monday. Help me. I mean, it's Monday for me. It's Tuesday for you guys, but it's Monday for me. All out of sorts, I guess you would say. Okay. So we got that, and then we'll have our little gussety things so that we've got a little room in our pockets so it's not like, you know, stuck totally to the page. So tight you can't get anything in or out. So I'm just going to do the old trick of, you know, kind of cutting up to the top there and over to the sides, and then we'll just fold those, cut them and fold them however we need to do. The old tricks. So you hopefully get a fairly neat opening, because it would stink to have it look awful. Okay, so those have to be cut too. So we got to cut along here. Oh, I did that wrong, huh? You guys are like, you're a moron. Sometimes I can be. We have to cut to the corners, Amy. Sorry. That was not the old trick. That's how I cut out the centers of the paper. Telling you, some days it doesn't pay to get out of bed. Okay, now we can do it. See, so now when you fold it, and I'll cut these off a little bit, but hopefully you get that nicer, clean edge instead of like a weird edge on them, or a frayed edge, which wouldn't be awful either. I would be okay with that, but we'll try to make it look nice today. So I hope you're all good and well, and like I said, I've got lots of new people, so welcome, of course. And if there's any questions you have, ask away. I'm totally fine with answering questions, because I know when I first started, I had lots of questions. So don't be shy. Oh, and let me show you one more time. Because this is another question I've been getting a lot of. This is the paper I use. I buy it on Amazon. You can get it at like Staples and places like that as well. I think it's Staples. It's the same type of box, but this is 500 sheets. You can get less than that. That's just like what I like to order. So, if you're wondering, because I have had questions about the digitals, they are super duper color saturated compared to a lot of, you know, digitals I've done in the past or whatever. So you don't want to use a glossy type paper because it will smear and smudge because it's just putting out a lot of ink onto the paper. It's not that there's anything wrong with the digital, it's just super saturated with color. So that's why they're so vivid and bright. So you definitely want to keep that in mind when you're printing them. Oh, and another thing, I'm just going to keep coming up with stuff today. I've had a lot of people, like I said, that are new to printing digital downloads. And if you order a digital download from Etsy, I would advise if you go back in to try to print it, like if you didn't print it right away or whatever, and you go back in, sometimes Etsy won't let you print it from the app. The Etsy app, like if you're on an iPad or something like that. I have no idea why. Like that is so like out of my control or wheelhouse or whatever. So my best suggestion when that happens, because I have a lot of people think it's my digitals that aren't working, and they work. They, you know, I haven't ever had a problem, and Etsy is the one that downloads them to you as well. But anyway, sometimes the Etsy app doesn't work. So you have to get out of the Etsy app and go like do a internet type search, you know, Etsy, and then go in and sign into your Etsy account, whatever email you use to purchase. And I have had a lot of people purchasing as a guest, which there's nothing wrong with that. You can totally do that, but you kind of mess yourself up doing that because I don't know if you guys know, but if you ever like lose your digitals on your computer or whatever, you can go back into your purchases on Etsy. So if you've signed in with a, what do you gonna call it? An email address, then you can just keep using that same account. It will keep track of all of your Etsy purchases, like all of them. Even your digital downloads, and you can go back in and re-download your digitals if you lose them or whatever. So you just go into your sign in to your Etsy, and then go to your little, there's an icon up at the top that's like either a silhouette, it's a profile picture. So if you put a picture of yourself or whatever fun little thing you like, you go up to the top right-hand corner, click on that. Or for a lot of people, it's a silhouette because they haven't put a profile picture in there. Click on that and go to your purchases, or purchases and reviews, I think it is. And all your purchases come up. You just scroll to whichever digital you want and re-download it. So it's as simple as that. So you can always do that. You can do that as many times as you want. Once you purchase the digital, you can download it every day if you want to. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you have trouble with anybody's digitals, not just mine, because I'm sure it happens to other sellers as well. It's not just me. If you're signing in through an app, you may not be able to get your digital, you know what I mean? So just sign in, get out of the app, like close the app, and go back in just through a regular internet search. Go to your purchases and you can download away. So it's very good because there have been times I've lost all my files on my computer, and so I keep backups of like I have a terabyte drive that I keep for my digital downloads in my shop. But you can always go to Etsy and re-download. So if you've purchased and you're like, oh great, now I'm out all that money, you're not. You can always download them again, as long as you've signed in using a particular email address that you know. See, if you don't know what the email address is, then you're kind of out of luck. That's why I'm saying don't. I'm not saying don't, but I wouldn't sign in as a guest, because you're kind of just messing your own self up doing that. Okay, so we're going to use the March hare now that I've completely gone off the deep end and jabbered your ear off. And we're going to put the piece of plastic first and then the March hare. So he'll be back behind there so you can touch it and it's not going to do anything to him. It's going to be interesting making this happen because I'm not sure how well he's going to stick to that, but we're going to see what we can do here. So yes, you can always go back and get your digitals. So if like for whatever reason it didn't come to you right the first time, you can just go back there and download them again. Because I have a lot of people say, oh, I missed my chance and so I bought it again. It's like, don't buy it again, because that's more of a hassle than just go to your purchases and get it that way. Okay, so I'm actually thinking, I think I'm going to put you on hold. I'm going to grab some tape because I think I'm going to tape all those edges down so that stuff doesn't get snagged and caught. I'll be right back. I just got some Scotch tape. I did cut this film down just a tiny bit more. I know this is probably super hard to see. You know, it's hard for the camera to catch that, but hopefully you'll be able to tell. I'm just running some tape along all those edges rather than gluing. But of course, you are totally welcome to do you, boo. I might add a little glue over on these corners just sometimes glue does not hold super stellar with this stuff. So I'm thinking it might help for the catching purpose if I just add a little tape. And I'll add some across the top, definitely all the way across the top, because it's where the tag will go in and out. And I don't know how well that is going to stick to the fabric either. It's always something, right? There's always something. All right, so let's just do it that way on all of it. I think will work well. Oh, Amy, honestly. The biggest thing is I don't want it glue on there either. There's just lots of different textures here. So we want to make sure if we can to get everything sticking well. That one already has some. I got something stuck on my finger. Shocking, I know. All right, so that should all stay down nicely, and then we're gonna connect him somehow, which is also gonna be interesting. I want to be able to see behind him. That's why I didn't like just connect him. You know, like glue him down to another piece of paper or whatever. And I don't want him getting caught on everything either. So I think what I'll do, even though this may be a disaster, so you may be watching a disaster in the making, I'm going to put some glue just kind of like on his ears and the top of his head so that hopefully he doesn't snag the tag. Okay, we're going to try this. I don't know if it will work or not. I'm going to push down on that. hopefully that will work. Don't know. Very nervous. I probably should have put glue all over him, huh? Because these parts here could snag too. I didn't think this part through very well. I thought, oh yeah, I'll just glue the edges there and it'll be fine. It's like, Amy, there's a lot more stuff to glue. It's all these little bits that get snagged, you know. I don't know, we'll see what disaster is that. It's not perfect, definitely, but maybe once it dries, it'll be all right. I just want to be able to see behind him, so whatever you're putting in and out, you know, you could kind of see. I thought that would be fun. We'll see. Live and learn. I'll let it dry all the way before I glue it into the book. Okay, so another thing we're going to do is take some, this is just like linen or something, and we're going to take some, this will spell out T. Dogs outside are going bonkers. I don't know what the deal is. Oh, my cat last night. It was actually yesterday afternoon. I let him out, and in 30 minutes, he caught a robin. I was like, and killed it, because I didn't realize till I came back downstairs to let him back in. And he's just happy as pie sitting at the back door, dead robin sitting right next to him. I'm like, ugh! I really try not to let him catch birds and kill them if I can. I know that's what cats do, but I really try to protect the birds. Normally at this time of the year, it's not a problem because there's not really any place for him to hide. Like, he's this big white puffy poof ball, you know what I mean, running at him. And they usually see him way before he gets anywhere near him. I don't know what that robin was doing, but not paying attention, I'll tell you. Like, how did you catch that bird? Yeah, because I've scared birds away before, you know, when I've seen him start stalking them or whatever, shoo him off so that he can't get them. But we have a lot of birds in our area. A lot. I want to leave like some of that. Actually, maybe I'll just, I don't like that. Try to take off a little bit more here. I want it to be haphazardy, you know what I'm saying? And then I have some tea. And that is just instant tea, again, that I've made. It's the powdered instant tea, no sweetener. And I use like this much tea and then some water, and that's it. And sometimes if I know I'm going to keep it for a while, I put a little rubbing alcohol in it, and that's just to keep it from growing mold. But it kind of gets stinky no matter what. Like, it gets a weird smell that coffee doesn't get. So I've kind of started just making a little bit, and I'll probably try to use this up today. So I just want to put like some little drops, because if I put a lot, this fabric will just, and the whole thing will be that color. So I just want some bits on that. And then on this, we're going to make some, the reason I'm actually using a old tea set is because I want the actual sort of like this circle thing happening. And we'll see. I don't know if it'll work or not. It's not perfect, but it will be something on there, right? And I didn't want the whole thing dyed like a weird color or anything. I just want some bits of it. So yeah, I'll probably take the rest of this tea and do something with it today, like paper or whatever. It's almost like it ferments, well, especially when you put the rubbing alcohol in it, and so it's different than coffee. Coffee just always stays the same, basically. but this doesn't. Okay, well, that didn't really work because it just, which makes sense, but it'll at least give me some color on there, some tea color. Okay, we're going to set this aside and I'll have to wash that cup because it'll get stained. Those are my grandmother's old teacups. Soaked right all the way through. I mean, it'll come off of that. All right, so we have that, and then we're going to take some fabrics, and I'm going to try to use lots of color in this. So I have this wild rose print, and these were gifted to me by my friend Denise. So we're just going to kind of make a little cluster, and I use my glue stick just to help hold it together. That's all, and then I'll stitch it after. So, sorry. It works pretty good to just, you know, tack it down basically. Old piece of lace that came off of a doily. And then I have some pink gingham, which is one of my favorites. I kind of like this side because it's got that frayed edge. So we'll take advantage of it. Just making a little fold up. You can obviously do all this when you're sewing. I need to visualize it. I don't know about you guys, but I have to see it basically done before I stitch it. I'm kind of weird like that. Put one of these roses and that'll just get stitched down. And then I'm also going to add a button somewhere. I don't know where, a purple button. And we're going to also add our T, which I'm not sure where I want that either. Maybe at the bottom, just kind of hanging off. Then you're not going to see it because of that. So we'll turn that. See, this is what I mean. I have to play with it or I can't visualize it. And then this will go onto our pocket like so. So what I'm going to do is go stitch this. I'm going to hand sew this on just with a needle and thread, nothing exciting. And then get this dry and I'll come back. Okay, I'm back and it is dry. I've stitched around the outside of this just to, you know, it's fabric. I just like to make sure it's going to stay put. And then I finished stitching the little button on and that'll go on here. And I thought we could add a couple of these little bitty cards. And I did include a link to them in the last video I did. But I'll try to remember to do that again. If I forget, just remind me. People had to remind me last time too. It's so hard to remember all the things. And sometimes, especially videos that I film like Friday and they don't come out till Monday, I always forget stuff because it's just a while between and I forget, you know, what I need to add and whatever. So just remind me. I'm always happy to go in and add stuff, or I'll just give you the link directly, that kind of thing. Because I'm just ditzy. So, you know how it is. I'm going to use like colorful inks. I'm going to try because you know how I am with my vintage photo. I do like it. But we're going to try to use a little color. So you can see I inked around the edges of that. I don't have a whole lot of blues, but so I think I'll just use that one. We're just going to put those, glue those in rather than stitching them in. If I can find my, oh my gosh, it was right next to me. If it was a snake, it had bit me. So yeah, we'll get these glued down. Oh, Nelly. I think that one's got some water in it. Some of them I had to add some water to because they were getting thick because I don't use them like a ton. I use it here and there. And it starts to get like real gloppy. Not gloppy anymore. And you just, if you do that, just a few drops is all you need. Or, you know, just a teeny bit. You don't need to add like half the bottle or anything because as you can see, it gets very sloppy. But just some little playing cards. And those I got on Amazon, so you can also just do a search if you want. But I will try to remember the link. Because they're bitty. And they're cute. I thought they were a tiny bit bigger than that, but they're not. We're going to put quite a bit of glue on this because it's going to have to stay on here. Sorry, I've got the snifflies. It's cold in here. So my hands are cold, and you know how your nose gets when that happens. I am going to put just a little bit behind this to hopefully hold it down a little bit. So there's that, and we're going to glue it onto the page with that same glue. I do like the way it turned out once it was dry. I mean, I didn't get the round cup thing like I wanted, but I like it still. So I was going to go on this page. And we need to kind of have these flaps come back. I forgot, I probably should have done a thumb notch before I put the fabric around, and then could have put the fabric to go around the little thumb notch, but I didn't. So here we are with no thumb notch in the top of this pocket, but it shall survive. That's kind of far over, like about there, I think. This is tricky with fabric. You get really used to paper, you know. I want it to not be weird, gapping, strange. I don't want it to glue to itself either. This may take some finagling. I've never done a pocket like this. See, but I like it because even without anything in there, then you can see that lace back there. So I think that's fun. Hope you guys like it. Something different anyway. I suppose if you were super talented, you could probably figure out a way to like stitch it on. I guess you could do it by hand, but man, that would take me an eon. But I'm sure it could be done. If you're very handy with all of that, you might want to do it that way. Trying to figure out how to not glue everything together. Yeah, it's real chilly in here today. The sun's shining, so that makes me happy. But it's not super warm, I'll tell you. Maybe that would have been the easiest way to do it the whole time, is to just glue down on the paper. Okay, I think I might have gotten it. I do like it. I love the way it turned out. It's very cute. So there it is. And I have no idea what I'll put in it yet, but we'll get there. One day at a time, right? That just reminded me. One of my favorite TV shows growing up. Alrighty. So there she is, guys. So we have a start. And I like the way it turned out. All right. I hope you have an awesome rest of your day. And we will chat again soon. Love you guys. Bye.